Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm back from a bachelor party weekend, a lovely weekend in the Thousand Islands. It's National Mac and Cheese Day. It's National Nude Day. We're here for the NBA Game 4, breaking it down. The spread on this one, we already took that. We got 5 props that we've taken in this one. We're going to go over them. And yes, DFS with over $1 million in prizes on DraftKings and some other sites, juicing them up here as we got a big Game 4. A victory here by the Milwaukee Bucks ensures that this thing goes at least 6, means we get at least 2 more basketball games and maybe even lucky enough to get 3. And the more basketball we get, the more we have days filled with sports that we can get to the end of July and only 2 weeks away from the NFL preseason. So let's get into what the Milwaukee Bucks need to do, why I have them at -3 in this one. Let's get into it right now. I appreciate if you want to like and subscribe to the channel here. We will be live later today, about an hour or 2 before the game starts, to answer any of your questions and update anything we need to for this Game 4. Now let's start on the Milwaukee Bucks side, where Giannis Antetokounmpo had a historic night, literally. Obviously he goes off, he has a fantastic game, 41 points, 13 rebounds, he shoots 14 of 23 overall, 12 of 12 in the paint. His game, he had it going to 100% perfection in this game, and he was the 3rd player ever, can you name the other 2, to have 40 plus points and 10 plus rebounds in back-to-back finals games. I'll give you a second. LeBron James and Shaquille O'Neal. He played 38 minutes in that game, but he sat out the last 5 to 5.5 minutes, so he was on pace to play 40 plus minutes. Now, as you can see on the screen right here, I'm giving Giannis 42 minutes in this one, expecting him to play that big run in what is going to be a very important game. He dominated the small ball lineups of Phoenix. When DeAndre Ayton wasn't on the court, and DeAndre Ayton, we'll talk about him, got in some, not serious foul trouble, but enough for him to not really play much of the third quarter to start the second half, he dominated those small ball lineups. They went a lot more small ball 5, Giannis at the 5, which makes sense in the postseason, and I think we see more of it today as Jay Crowder and also Cam Johnson, who they had to get away from Jay Crowder because it was not working in this one. Cam Johnson didn't really get it done. And this is fantastic news for the Bucks because Giannis looked basically fully healthy in this one. If anything, from Game 3, it looked like maybe, or Game 2, it looked like maybe you saw something on the defensive end, not as lateral movement, not as much tools being shown offensively. It seems as if that was maybe more of a mental thing, or maybe they juiced him up a little bit more in this one, gave him some more mac and cheese. He looked really healthy, fully healthy, I would say, in Game 3. Drew Holiday finally comes alive in this one, hits some big 3, shoots 5 of 10 from 3, 8 of 14 overall. He was a game high plus 22 in Game 3. Pat Connaughton played big minutes as well. Pat Connaughton actually got some shots up, 3 of 5 overall, 2 of 4 from 3. Hey, if you can get those guys going as well, why not? They're going to need that to continue. It's getting good defense, clean defense, as he was plus 3 overall in this one. Now, in the game, Milwaukee, in general, they just shot well, right? They ended up shooting 77% from the free throw line, which is not great, but the big thing was Giannis shot 13 of 17, and 13 of 15 when it really counted in this game from the free throw line. They won a lot of things in this game. They won 3-point shooting. They out-rebounded offensively 13-6. This Phoenix Suns teams, they ended up leading in fast break points and steals. It was just overall pure domination from Milwaukee in this game, and then it doesn't help when Phoenix, who we're about to get to on the opposite side, doesn't do too much. So you saw big Giannis games, Drew Holiday games. Middleton was just fine. Pat Connaughton was solid in this one. It's going to be interesting to see if we see the shift, which I think we will, to more Brook Lopez minutes than Bobby Portis, who had a nice start to his afternoon and benefited from some small ball lineups without Ayton on the court in the third quarter. I think we see more Brook Lopez, especially as we start to see more Ayton in Game 4. So don't get fooled by the big minutes or bigger minutes for Bobby Portis and less for Ayton. I don't think those are going to hold all that much. And as you can see on the screen, that's what I'm doing. I'm giving right now Bobby Portis only 14 minutes and Brook Lopez getting back up to 27 minutes of play. The rest of it is as you normally see. Bryn Forbes, I'm not too sure he should even play in this series. I gave him 4 minutes, and Jeff Teague I gave 8. Now, I took the Milwaukee Bucks. I took them. Ready? Bucks minus 3.5. That is right. The Milwaukee Bucks minus 3.5 in this one. Now, I took some player props, and some of those player props are from the Milwaukee Bucks side. I ended up taking 5 props this morning. We'll give you the 2 Phoenix ones after, but these are the 3 I've taken from the Milwaukee Bucks side. I have Drew Holiday under 8.5 assists. I project out these numbers, and I currently have Drew Holiday looking at around 7.3 to 7.4 assists, so we're going to be pretty clearly under the 8.5 assists on Drew Holiday in this one. Just a lot of unassisted buckets are needed for guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who has really good ball handling skills in his own right. Nice game last time out there for Drew, who ended up picking up, I believe, in that game, 9 overall assists. We'll take the under 8.5. Bobby Portis, like I said, and this is the correlation play here. Look, you can take these props down below on Prize Picks. You'll get a nice little free money bonus in a match, so you get a free match, a chance to win $1 million. They'll send you a questionnaire with 5 questions, and if you get them right for the game tonight, you are a millionaire. If you get one right, you still win money. It's not easy, but it's an opportunity. So there's 2 opportunities today to get some free bets in and a chance to be $1 million Ruski walking around with your pockets deep and probably going crazy with too much money you having. But the correlation here, I already mentioned it. Bobby Portis, I think, plays less. Brook Lopez plays more. So what does that mean? Bobby Portis, less points, under 6.5, over 10.5 for Brook Lopez, especially because I don't expect Giannis to continue to put up 40 and 10. That's only going to help guys like Brook Lopez, who will be on the court more benefiting by the paint and the rebounding department. So those are the 3 props that we've taken so far. So from Milwaukee, from a DFS standpoint, I would rank my interest by far and away Giannis. He is right now for me the best player in the slate, and that's just factoring in, but of course he's going to score the most. That's also just factoring in his price point, right? He is the cheapest for what his upside is. I've met almost 64 points today. So I will go Giannis, Drew Holiday, Middleton, Pat Connaughton, those 4 guys, and then I have some other guys in a player pool like Lopez and PJ Tucker. But as we continue with this program today, I want to let you know about a sponsor of the program, one that has continued to be a sponsor of this program. We have used them in the past, and we are still using them because it's just quality products, and that is going to be right here, Ritual Vitamins. I have their protein powder as well. I got a 3-month supply. We're still kicking with about 2 months or so, rocking and rolling. Look, Ritual Vitamins, the reason why I personally enjoy them, well, they reached out, and then I was like, okay, a couple vitamins companies have reached out. Let's look deeper into this. They tell you exactly where they're getting all their ingredients from. They define the ingredients, so instead of just being like, vitamin D from the sun, well, what else is this shit going to do for me? They define it to actually the benefits that it's going to have for you at your specific gender, your age group, who you are as a person, how that is going to help you from that starting point. It's affordable, it's easy, it ships directly to my door. And here's the thing, personally, as somebody who enjoys working out, running, and trying to maintain as much health as I possibly can, whether it's through fasting or vitamins, I really don't know how people aren't taking vitamins. I think it's something that my dad never did it or my mom never did, so I think it's that simple as to why people don't. But vitamins are very important, right? They supply the things you don't get in your diet, which is nowhere near as much as you're getting through just vitamins. They're supplements, right? So it's going to help your immune system, which is pretty big over the past year to year and a half, is it not? It's going to help having frail bones, which when you start to get older, your bones are just naturally frail because you're moving less, and that's why a lot of older people break their hips. And it doesn't sound like a good idea to have a 2-year recovery when I'm an older person with broken hips. So vitamins will help to some extent to strengthen your bones, strengthen your immune system. It's going to also give you energy as well because it makes it easier to convert your food into energy. There's a lot of benefits of daily vitamins, so why not get ones where you know exactly where it's coming from? Why not get ones that you can actually afford? So this is what's happening. It's very convenient. That's why I like Ritual Vitamins. And right now for our users, we've already been working with them. I was liking their products before, so now why not get a little benefit from it? I'm using my own benefits as well. 10% off if you go to ritual.com/Sal Vetri. It's on the screen right now. You can check that out. And if you're listening on the podcast version, that is ritual.com/Sal Vetri. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months. So if you want the vitamins, I believe it's like $90 for 3 months, which is not bad at all. You get $10 off. Bang. Thank you, Ritual, for sponsoring the program today. And I'm serious out there. You should be taking advantage of your health while you're still here. Get some extra days out of it. Vitamins are definitely going to help with that. So everything goes wrong for Phoenix in game 3. So if you want to say, hey, let's do a little spin zone here, a lot of things, not everything, but a lot of things went right for the Bucks, right? And everything seemed to have gone wrong for Phoenix. So if that just balances out, Phoenix is going to win this series in 5 games, which there's still a good chance that could happen. But this was a closer game 2. This was a much healthier Giannis. We just went over a lot of benefits that you saw from Milwaukee. Booker struggling, though. Booker's struggling in a major way. Nobody talks about Booker when he's struggling. Maybe if he struggles again in this game with all the eyes on him. But he's been struggling for a while now. Right? If this was Chris Middleton, one game bad, and Chris Middleton's overrated, right? But Booker has been very bad for a while now in this postseason. 1 of 7 from 3 in this game. 3 of 14 overall. Just 2 assists. Only played like 28 minutes, and then the game gets out of hand, right? Just 10 points. Negative 13 overall. Drew Holiday was eating him up on defense. And then another big piece of this game that we should not overlook, and I'll pull it up on the screen right now, was DeAndre Ayton's foul trouble. So DeAndre Ayton is right here. He is above my head, his playing time. The purple is when he is on the court, and the orange is when he's off the court. So here is DeAndre Ayton. He ends up right here, picking up his 4th personal foul to start the 3rd quarter. That is the second half. So he only plays a minute and a half in the 3rd quarter. If you were only going to play a minute and a half in the 3rd quarter, it is going to be very difficult for your team to beat a Giannis small ball lineup during that time with Jay Crowder, who got shoved out of small ball lineups, and then they ended up going to Cam Johnson. So what I just said there is very important. I said it kind of just in as a throwaway line, maybe you think. Jay Crowder, they took away from small ball. In games 2 and game 3, James Crowder was playing small ball. And what did he do? 9 rebounds and double-digit rebounds in back-to-back games. Then this last time out doesn't get them because he's not playing close to the basket. Now, Jay Crowder had a really good game. Why? Because he shot 6 of 7 from three-point range, right? But he saw less small ball run. So this is just our advantage now. We can take the unders on Jay Crowder's. We can start to stay away from him as he picks up more ownership in DFS because he had a game that was somewhat fluky, and I would say very fluky, 6 of 7 from 3, no other peripheral stats. He was not playing close to the basket. So the success that he had in game 3 was nowhere near the success that he had in the second half of game 2 getting rebounds, and his big game in game 2 where he was getting points close to the basket and rebounds. He did not do it that way. Maybe they can resort back to him at small ball 5. Maybe they go there, but they tried to get Cam Johnson more involved at small ball 5, and he actually benefited when he played there. Jay Crowder on Giannis was not working all that much. And then the other thing is this is game 4. If Ayton doesn't get in foul trouble, they might just play Ayton 42 to 44 minutes today, and then there's no small ball 5 minutes left, right? So this is a big advantage we can have today. I already have right now the under rebounds on Crowder. We'll talk about that once we go over to the props on Prize Picks. But he ended up having a massive game, but he only had 7 total attempts, all from 3. I'm not expecting that to continue like in the 33 minutes of play that he had in that last game. So expect a lot less production. Now, not only did they try Cam Johnson, they let Frank Kaminsky play. He played 14 minutes. He was minus 12 in those 14 minutes. And he played some garbage time run. He was basically, to start off the game, minus 15 in the first 10 minutes of legitimate or somewhat legitimate run. So Frank Kaminsky, in my opinion, should not be playing in the series. I only gave him 2 minutes. I think they go to more Ayton overall and more Cam Johnson Crowder in the final 6 to 8 minutes that they have small ball. He did shoot 3 of 5 in the game, but 2 of those makes came in the fourth quarter when it was a blowout. I think people are going to read too much into it. I currently have Frank Kaminsky, if we pull up the Phoenix minutes, for a whole 2 minutes of play today. I'm giving more minutes to Ayton today than he played in the last game. I'm giving more minutes to Torrey Craig. I have him at 12 at the bottom of the screen right there. So that is where I'm at on the Frank Kaminsky stance of him getting into the rotation. Now, some of the adjustments. Look, I mean, you're just going to need Giannis to not have these historic nights. Now, how can you do that? You can put more help into the paint. You know he's not going to shoot. He shot 12 of 12 in that last game from 3 overall, or from the field overall. So you know what the adjustments you can make are. Just kind of help out a little bit. If Ayton avoids foul trouble, that's one way to do it, right? You're not going to get dominated by these small ball lineups without Ayton in there. And then just also let them beat you just shot-wise. Crowd the paint and say, hey, if Giannis is going to go in there and try and get these easy buckets, 40-plus points, he's going to have to do it on jump shots and three-pointers, which is probably just not going to happen. So crowding the paint is one adjustment that you can make. Can you get burned by three-point shooting then? Yes, but you might as well at least try and let them do that when they're only shooting 32% in the postseason than when Giannis is shooting 100% in the last game in the paint. I think you need a little bit more Booker off ball as well. Jrue Holiday was eating him up these last 2 to 2.5 games of the series right now. Get him in some other isolations against other players, screening, things like that. There needs to be more 3 balls in general. Shooting is better, right? You're not going to be doing that when Bridges and Booker in the last game are shooting 1 of 9 from 3. Crowder was on, but that was about it who was on. And not much outside of that. You just need better shooting. You need better shooting, and you need to just try and crowd the paint and say, hey, you can beat us from three-point range in this game if you want to, but we're not going to let you just 100% beat us in the paint like you did in game 3. And when I say beat them in the paint, I don't just mean the 12 of 12. They ended up getting outscored in the paint 54 to 40. Now, part of that has to do with Ayton getting in foul trouble and a 16-0 run, Milwaukee going on in the third quarter of game 3. But that is an adjustment that I think is going to be needed. So the props that I have in this game on the Phoenix side of the ball, we already talked about the ones you can see on the screen right now from Milwaukee. The Phoenix side of the ball, I have Crowder under 6.5 rebounds. I don't think Crowder's going to get a lot of rebounding opportunities in this game. Crowder's been playing like 10 minutes of small ball 5 in game 2, and he played in the second half like 6 minutes of small ball 5 once you saw Dario Saric go down in that game 1 of the finals. Now I think he's going to play potentially 0 minutes. I think that they might go 2 minutes of Frank Kaminsky, 40 to 42 minutes of Ayton, and then there's like only 4 minutes left at that point, so maybe it's Crowder, which is not enough for me to think he's going to have 7 to 10 rebounds, or maybe it's just Cam Johnson. So the under there, and I'll take the over 8.5 Chris Paul assists. And the reason I like the over 8.5 Chris Paul assists is because he's averaging a 40+% assist percentage in the postseason, and this number is just continuously hit. And depending on where you get this number, if you get it at 8, it's just continuously hit or pushed for you. So he's had 9, 8, 9, 8, 8, 12, 7, 8, and 15 assists. So right now he's only, if you gotten this number at 8, lost for you once and pushed a bunch of times. But we'll take the over 8.5 in this one, as I just believe that you're going to start to see some sort of regression to the mean on Devin Booker shooting, on Mikal Bridges shooting, and also Ayton being on the court more in the pick and rolls and down low. It's just all of those factors are going to help Chris Paul, who even in the last game with none of those going his way, still got 9 assists. So that's where we're out on the player props market, those 5 props. You can take them down below on Prize Picks. Limited time offer only. If you can take advantage of it, I think you should, and you can get a free bet over there up to $100 with the link down below and the promo code SAL. That is just SAL when you sign up, and you have a chance to become a millionaire. To the Phoenix daily fantasy sports interest, the DFS interest rates now, I would rank it this way: number 1, Chris Paul; number 2, DeAndre Ayton; number 3, Booker; number 4, actually Torrey Craig. I think he is the best punt play at $1,800. I have him at 12 minutes of play today and about 9.5 to 10 fantasy points. The rest of the players are all in a player pool for me. I think Cam Johnson gives gives you some decent value still at $3,800. Should play 20 plus minutes in this one. Crowder, McCall, Bridges, they all have the ability to go off and shoot well, and Campaign is also in a player pool. So I do have my full player pools, projections that will be updated, interests, the optimizer, not just for this, but for MLB, PGA, MMA, the NFL starting very soon, all on Patreon. Encourage you to try it out down below. 14 players in a player pool. Only 2 of those players are priorities as yeses that I will be probably running in every single one of my lineups tonight. You can see who those are, and we'll talk about it more on the live stream later today. So thank you for tuning into this video. I will see you all in the next one, Game 4, live later today. Like, subscribe, that notification bell so you know when we're going live. Support the sponsors of the program, and enjoy National Mac and Cheese Day today.